Okay, so today we are going to talk about game analytics. I will start by introducing myself in details again. So as you already know that I am currently working as an analyst in a game development company. So our company have games on cards and boards. As for example, all of you have played Ludo, and most of you in the universities played 29 with your fellow mates. So we make those games: Ludo, 2019, Patti, Solitaire, Carom. So these are our portfolio games. So we have total 200 million people's downloaded our games. So to put that into perspective, so our user base is larger than the population of Bangladesh. So, and you know that Bangladesh is seventh or eighth in the eighth rank in the population index. So you can consider that very huge. So, so let's back to our session. So, so we all know what game is. But we don't know the game genres. But we play a lot of games. So games can be of different genres, like their actions, adventures, simulation games, sports games, FIFA. So depending on the type of the game, the basic analytics that we use are similar for all of the games. So for today's session, I will talk about those basic analytics that is used across the industry. So I will share those metrics and I will share the analytic technologies that the companies use for data gathering and uh, visualizing and the end-to-end pipeline. So the technology is pretty similar for any other domain that are trying to leverage analytics for their for the betterment of the product. So even if you're not interested in game analytics, you can listen to the conversation to get some general ideas on analytics and how it is used in the companies. So moving on. So so we all played snakes and bounce games in our button phones, and we also had that one friend. We used to play GTA Vice City all the day. I used to visit one of my friend's house to see he is playing Vice City game. So, but the game development history started way back around the 80s when kids used to play arcade games in those big monstrous machines that we see in the movies. So those were the time that the game development actually started, and at that time, Pac-Man, Star Wars, and those kind of games, those kind of arcade games were very very popular. So what do you think that how the development procedures started? So I assume at the time the developers, yes, there were developers, software engineers, and so developers used to write programs, and some of their friends used to test those games, and if it was terrible, they just have to throw it out. So they could not perceive any information why any user or the players didn't like the game. What changes were necessary for the game's success? Was it way too easy for the users, or when it is way too difficult for them? So also they didn't understand who their targeted customers were. So they had no idea how to sell the game, and there was a problem. So 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 that was the problem. So fast forward to present days. So mobile devices became popular at around 2007 2008 with the invention of iPhone, and then around after 2 or 3 years Android catch up, uh, and and internet became popular, and internet and mobile became inseparable from each other. And at that time the game design landscape changes radically. So at that radical change was possible due to the invent of data. And that is the point of discussion of our today's session, that is data. So data resolves into analytics. So how data or analytics is shaping the gaming industry across the globe, and why should we care? And this is the main point of our today's discussion. Okay. Now to present the current scenario. Now, what the developers or designers do, the developers or game designers, they started to gather the data of their growths. They started to gather data to understand player behavior, and they know what to update. They know where to update, and for whom they are updating them. So they know everything, ins and outs, who they are targeting, what to do, what should be the next thing, what should we do in the following. So they know all the details with the help of data. So and then they push these calculated improvements and new features, which makes the game more fun and engaging. So, and they again check the data and then they again update it. So this is the continuous process that goes on and on to make the game more entertaining for the users. And this is how analytics works in the gaming industry. So, to understand and talk about the metrics, we need to look at a case study to gradually learn about the metrics used in the game analytic domain. So I thought that just giving an overview of the metrics would give me a boring conversation. So I had to pick up a case study where I can deliberately express those metrics with the help of intuitions. So as we can see in the chart, that although the new users keep increasing in the chart, the revenue of the game is declining. So revenue of the game is declining and the users keep increasing. So why can this happen? So this can happen maybe due to a retention drop. So or maybe a new feature got released and but it raised a quality indicator flag. Maybe the traffic isn't that good, so the users that we are getting are not good enough. Maybe there is a fault in our monetization policy, or maybe there is a server issue, or maybe something else. So you don't know unless you deep dive into it. So let us deep dive into the ocean, and along the way, we will understand the metrics. So, okay. So the popular growth metrics that we use day-to-day basis is the active user count, install count, or the install count by month, or the active user count by month. So besides these metrics, these are the generalized metrics that is used across web analytics and app analytics all in general. So besides these metrics, retention needs to be understood very good. So the retention rate is the percentage of your users who are retaining. So day one retention means if your game or app has 100 new installs today, so how many of them are retaining in the next day? So 50% day one retention means 50 of those 100 people stay in your game up to day one of their installs. So a successful project must have a good day one retention, a good retention in general. So besides these daily retentions, you also need retentions over the period of a week, and also you need retentions over the period of a month. That is usually mentioned as day 7 retention, day 30 retention, or day 28 retention. So these are the things. So using these statistics, we can perceive how the user's first impression is towards our game. So day one retention picks that up. So how he slides into the main gameplay. Is he enjoying it for long, or or it was just a casual time pass for his or her for 2 or 3 days? That we get from the day 7 retention. And these are the things we need to learn if we want to understand our users better and work accordingly towards creating a more engaging and fun game. So let us now skip the rolling retention for now, because it is not that much necessary for us to understand. So just take it. So considering the case study, although as we can see previously that our new user count was increasing, so this might happen that our users retention might be low. So the new users who are installing, they are not retaining that much. So that's why we are not getting, we are not progressing in terms of revenue. So we need to check that. So an analyst need to check that in order to verify his the retention indicators. So moving on. So also we need to understand the product quality that we are delivering to the customers. Is that okay enough for that, or is it deteriorating for the first couple of days? So for this reason, we need some quantitative indicators. These indicators will help us to understand the quality of our product. Let's say sessions per user. That is usually described a user's average number of sessions during some period of time. So how the user, so it gives us a feeling about how the user is engaging with our game. Is the engagement all right? If we look at the case study, even if the new users are increasing, if the retained and the new users have less engagement time than the revenue, than the previous time. So if we consider this thing, then we can see that if the retained users and users have less engaging time, then the revenue might decrease as well, because they are playing less game, they are watching less ads, and they are bringing in less revenue for us. So session per user, this can be a product quality indicator as well. So then again, lifetime. So when lifetime is usually described when a user is leaving or uninstalling our app, after how many days a user is uninstalling our app, that is the lifetime. So if more players are uninstalling than installing, then although our new users are increasing, the overall user base will shrink within days. So that is a bad indicator as well. So you need to check lifetime as well. The users that you are getting, what is the lifetime? So so if, and talking about lifetime, we can also calculate their lifetime value. So within a player lifetime, how much revenue that is generated from a user is usually called the lifetime value. So the revenue an average user generates during his or her lifetime is the LTV. So if the user base has low LTV, our generated income is low. So because the user is paying us less money, that's it. So that you can understand from here. So our revenue kept on decreasing. So it might also happen that our LTV is decreasing, and that's why our revenue is decreasing as well. So LTV has some serious correlations with the retention. So as you can also perceive that the more users retain, the more users tend to have in our game. Mm, So let's say if you stay in our game for 7 days, what the and another player is staying in the game for 28 days, the player who are retaining for 28 days tend to have more LTV because they are staying for longer period of time. So there are some other metrics like average revenue per active user, which is called ARPU, or average revenue per paying users, calling RPPU. And and also the paying share. What percentage of the user base is willing to pay for premium features or buying collectible items from the store? So that is the kind of metrics that actually gives you the quantitative indicators for measuring the product quality, what is the quality of our game. So this is necessary as well. So moving on, next, so traffic analysis. So what do you mean by the traffic? The new installs that we are getting each and every day is the traffics. So we need to analyze those traffics. We need to analyze those new installs that we are getting. So 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 for understanding those new installs, we need to first question ourselves that are we running any campaigns for them, are we getting organic traffic? So if you are running any campaigns to increase our installs, what does the campaign analytics look like? So campaign analytics is so much powerful that you can create so much value with it. You can create so much value with it, and some of those campaign metrics are very much helpful for in this regards for creating values, like like mentioned in the slide, that is KPI, return on investment, or also called ROI or payback period. So CPI. So CPI is mainly your cost to the advertising agency to get one installs in your game. So you are giving the advertising agency some money so that they can give installs in your game. So by such way you are acquiring users for your game. So lowering your CPI is usually good because you are getting you are getting users for less money. But higher CPI isn't bad either. So you can understand this concept if you understand return on investment. Now, moving on to return on investment. Return on investment refers how much revenue as a company you can generate from that user or from the user of that campaign. So let's say if you bring a user for $1 and the user delivers you $2 worth of revenue in return, then the campaign has a positive ROI. So if you bring a user for $1 and the user delivers you 0.5 half dollar, then your campaign has negative ROI. So a higher CPI might be good if your ROI is positive. So you can have CPI that much higher if you can maintain the return on investment positively. So that is the concept. So CPI and ROI. So then comes the break even. So at what period you got your investment back? So you have invested $100 in your current campaign, and let's say after 7 days you got $100 from the users who have installed. So 7 days is your payback period. So the date on which you get 100% return on your advertising cost is the payback period for your campaign. So these metrics, along with several others, with these things, you can reach potential users, and you can explore a new user base, and this is how the game grows. So using campaigns, you can so in a region there might be 100 possible users. you can get, but your organic traffic organic traffic is 60, so you can get another 40 by using campaigns. So you can reach potential users by such. Also, you can explore a new user base. So let's say, uh, if you want to market a game in USA, so let's say you don't know their user base that much. So what you do is you throw a campaign in that region and you analyze the data, and if you find the ROI is positive, retention rates are good, then you can keep on increasing your budget and exploring a new user base there, which might be very much helpful for creating a good revenue source for your game. So this is how the game grows actually. So moving on, so also in understanding our areas, so we need to check all the bottlenecks or areas of improvements in our game that we don't know. So 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 to understand our bottlenecks, we do send events. So let's say, if we want to know if there is a bug in such a bug in a place, so you can set an event for that, and then you understand the event and the make changes or update it in the next release. So also you can use funnels. So custom funnel depicts each stage in the funnel and shows the numbers of users who completed the stage. So an image I have presented here to better understand that. So you can see that the installs have 100%. So among those installs, 30% users finished the tutorials presented in the game, and 5% of those users finished up to level 5, and 2% users purchased a premium feature or purchased something from the game. So this is how funnel tracks your checkpoints. So by creating or by stretching the funnel, you are prone to generating more revenue. So this is how the funnel helps you find the bottleneck. So if you see that the finishing the tutorial percentage goes slightly down, so 30% to 25% out, it will shrink the entire funnel. So by using funnels, you can understand the bottlenecks, that the finishing tutorials has been the main issue. So you look back and you try to optimize those tutorials and make it more interactive for users to engage. So this is how you actually work in your environment. So also we can use segmentations for segmentations in our games. User segmentation basically. So user segmentation is basically done for A/B testing or multivariate testing. So for doing so, we split our user base into two or more segments. If it is two, then we call it A/B testing, or if it is two or more, then we call it a multivariate testing. So using two or more segments, uh, we can roll out different features for differently across each group. So each group will get different features dedicated for them. So and then you roll out the roll out the feature, and then you analyze those segments, how the users interact, what is the user behavior of A, what is the user behavior of B, and this is how our game is optimized. So you see that you see in A/B testing, you see the test subject A is performing better than subject B, then you roll out the full release on subject A. So this is how the game is optimized and curated for the entire user base. So to understand the bottlenecks, you need to also check the events, check the funnels, and check the segmentation, check the user base that is present in your game. So I will not take much more time. So we will have so these are the metrics. So we have talked enough on metrics. So I hope the concept is clear to you. So I try to make it super easy so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. So so let's now try to understand a simple data pipeline, simple analytics data pipeline that is scalable as well. That is very simple. I have picked the simplest one that I can find in the internet. So I think every game development project should have a pipeline for data visualization and making decisions based on that. So this is a must thing. So in the current era, the game analytics platform incorporates a number of managed service, that is the services that is provided by Google, Amazon, or Microsoft. So these managed services enables team to work with data in near real time. So you can scale up the system as necessary. So let's say you have 100 users now. So you scale your data thinking about those 100 users. The next day, 1 month after, or 6 months after, you have 100K users. So then you scale up the system, and the next in the next day you have 1 million users. So you scale up the system then. So these these game analytics platform, those are managed by those are managed by the services like Google and Amazon. They have they have the scalability at their hand, and they reduce those overhead of maintaining servers. So back in the time when the servers were used, people used to store their data in the hard disks, creating a local server in their office. So those days are gone, and you can scale up the system very easily, and you can reduce those overheads of maintaining servers very quickly. So considering a simple game, considering a simple game X, so in your game, so you will have clients and servers. The client being me, I am playing games, and the servers who are interacting with the players. So we have clients and servers in your game. So we send events from the servers, the client server, or the main server, to a pops up topic. So a pops up topic that helps in sending or receiving messages from clients or servers. So that is the raw data that is stored in message queue. So then message queue sends this unprocessed data to a data flow, to the data flow where the ETL processes take place. So ETL means you can extract, transform, and load. You extracted the unprocessed data, you transform the data, and you load the data into data lakes or analytics DB. So that is what it is done. So the key function of the data pipeline. So as we already know, our main function of maintaining a data pipeline is to make instrumented events available to data science guys, analytics team guys for their analysis. So Dataflow handles this ETL process. There are several other tools. Dataflow is managed by Google, so there is Apache Spark, there is Rundeck. So Dataflow handles these ETL processes and outputs even to BigQuery and data lake. So having a data lake is a great option. So you are maintaining a copy of your data. So data can get altered due to changes in the schema or data ingestion issues. So while the analytic person is using the data, there can be some issues that they altered the table, they changed some issues, they ingested some other tables. So 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 creating only the analytic database is not recommended. So you try to maintain a separate data lake for managing for maintaining a copy of your data. So after the ETL in the data lake, the events are grouped into batches and saved into a cheap storage option. So data lake is a cheap storage option that you get, and you are storing those events into batches and you save them. So if you need those historical data, if you need those data which have altered in the main database, at that time you query on the data lake. So the querying on the data lake is very much so because data lakes use hard disks for the storage. So the retrieving information using query from the data lake is very much tough, not tough, very much time consuming. So for that reason, after the ETL and a copy of the data is usually sent to analytic DB that uses solid state drives. So solid state drives are very much fast for retrieving data based on the query that you send it to. So the ETL after ETL for the analytics DB, after ETL, the table row objects of the events are inserted into a BigQuery table for analytic use. So analytic database is completely separate from the data lake. So an analyst then makes the necessary dashboard available to the stakeholders. So a dashboard may contain daily report. So let's say you create a dashboard for reporting it daily to your manager. So this contains daily active user installs, what is the current install trend, what is the active user install trend. You create a pipeline, how many users are active today, how many of them are starting the game, how many of them are ending the game. So how many of them are playing 5 games, how many of them are playing ending 5 games, and also you track the revenue. Also you track the revenue source to be certain about which mediation is doing better, which mediation is not doing better. Also you track how many users have paying you, how many users are paying you, how many users have watched ads. So also you can also monitor their game economy. So in a game there can be coins, gems, or any other currency that is available to the users. So you can also monitor those economy changes in your games. So there is a wide array of dashboards that can be maintained for a game. so there is complexity of another topic. So the analytic database helps analysts to make necessary dashboards, that is, and make them available to the stakeholders. So this is a simple and scalable analytic pipeline that is used across the industry. So there can be more complex analytic pipelines as well. Those games were running on big servers like PUBG or or any other PC games. So their analytic pipeline needs are more complex than normal mobile game analytic pipeline. So this is the so now so now moving on. So now the main part. So what skills do you need to be an analyst? So the first and foremost thing, it is not mentioned here. So the first and foremost skill that you need to be an analyst is your curiosity. So you need to be curious. So you need to be curious about what happens, why it happens, how can you do better, what can be done. So by being curious about the data, you became a good analyst. So leave aside the technical skills required. The first and foremost thing for an analyst is his thirst for curiosity. So to supplement it with, you need some technical skills, and they will serve you as your tools for bringing out the insights, to retrieving the information, to sending it to the stakeholders for their understanding. So you need to understand. So for this thing, first of all, what I say is that you need to understand database very much. You need to understand the ins and outs of the database that you are currently using, and you need to understand the data modeling basics. Data modeling basics means how the database is designed, what is the schema is doing. So are you using a Redshift database or a BigQuery database? Is the database is on a PostgreSQL or on NoSQL? So this is the data. So also, you need to understand the relationships between the tables. So you need to understand those data modeling basics. So after that, after you finish understanding those data modeling basics, then you go for mastering SQL, and mastering SQL can be 80% enough for getting an analyst job. So you must master SQL. Also you need to learn some visualization tools such as uh, Tableau, Looker, widely used Data Studio. Data Studio is completely free. So also I have missed one, that is Excel. So I guess the remaining 20% that I have left from the SQL is Excel. So you must also be very good at this. So you need to most of the times when you deep dive, you need to make your analysis visible to the managers with the help of SQL. Also, I would recommend to learn Python after that. So you need Python for creating scripts that is used in the ETL processes. So how the ETL so creating the ETL, also you need Python for deeper dives into the data. So or creating a machine learning model for the team. Let's say your machine learning model can be like you are predicting the pairs based on their activity after 7 days of their install. So and recommend those and create and giving some discounts in the purchase who tend to purchase more. So you can also you can also by using NLP you can uh, curate the reviews that is placed by the users in the Google Store or App Store. So so, so you need to learn Python for having a versatility in your domain. So then you need to learn some workflow management tools. So workflow management tools being said, on which platform do you put your schedule queries, or which platform you need to you will schedule your scripts for the ETL purpose. So for these purposes, for these workflow management tasks, you need Rundeck or Apache Spark or Dataflow, this kind of softwares. So you need to learn them, but you need not to stress your mind on that, because whenever you are applying for a job, they basically don't require that kind of they don't usually put requirements on that, because it is very easy to learn this kind of platform. So if you work on a problem, and after coming to the company, you will get the most. You will get it mostly learned. So so this is the process. After that, I would recommend you to learn GitHub, Git, and also Jira to help you manage the workflows. So managing workflows can be is very required for handling projects and to collaborating with the team members. So learning those sort of workflow management tasks will also help you and your team members. So these are the skill sets that I think any of the analyst needs to get into a job. So now if you have any questions, I will be very much glad to answer those things.